The Crimean Crisis. Crimea is situated from the south of Ukraine and the west of Russia, in the Black Sea. It has over 2,000 years of history. This started when it was colonized and occupied by the Greeks, Romans, Huns, and the Goths, among others. It became occupied by the Tatars in the 13th century until it became a part of the Ottoman Empire in the 15th century. Crimea was conquered by the Russian Empire in April 1783 in an attempt to move more south. Great Britain, France, and Turkey were not happy. A war raged between the two sides from 1853 till 1856. The charge of the Light Brigade was in 1854, when 600 British soldiers were sent out to take back Crimea. 110 were killed and 161 wounded. The British retreated. After the war, Crimea lay in ruins. Then in 1917, the Civil War, Crimea was the scene of fighting between Tsarist and Bolshevik. Bolshevik won and Crimea was made a part of the Russian Soviet. Later, in 1954, leader of the Soviet Union, Nikita Khrushchev, transferred Crimea from Russia to Ukraine. This was a sudden choice which many of Crimea's citizens were not pleased about. Russia then annexed Crimea in March 2014. On the 21st of February 2014, Crimean Parliament members called for a meeting. It is believed that it was arranged to call for a Russian military intervention in Crimea. On the 22nd of February, at the end of a meeting, Russian President Vladimir Putin said, "We will start working together on returning Crimea to Russia." Then, on the 23rd, pro-Russian demonstrations were held in the city Sevastopol, Crimea. Later, on the 25th, several hundred pro-Russian protesters blocked the Crimean parliament, demanding a referendum on Crimea joining the Ukraine. It was said by the Supreme Council chairman that it would not consider separation of Ukraine. On the 27th of February, Russian special forces seized the building of the Supreme Council of Crimea. Russian flags were raised. This was it. Russia had Crimea once again. In 2015, all acts of rebellion or protests against it being moved to Russia were quickly moved along. Pro-Ukrainian supporters could be arrested for just wearing the Ukraine colors, blue and yellow. The United Nations warned that an estimate of 6,000 people had been killed in eastern Ukraine since April 2014. As violence continued, most of these 6,000 were protesters or people thirsty or hungry. The battle continues today between the Ukrainians and Russia for this crucial piece of land. It has become a very large critical piece of current politics. The 44th President of the United States, Barack Obama, refused to say Crimea was Russian, and the current President, Donald Trump, knows the President of Russia, Vladimir Putin. It is believed that the Russians released incriminating evidence on President Donald Trump's opponent, Hillary Clinton, and if it were to come out that Trump knew of this, he would be impeached immediately. It was looking like Trump believed it was Russian until on the 3rd of February 2017, Trump said that Putin needs to give back Crimea, as Crimea is running out of water and heat and the Russians are not coming to its aid. Will Crimea return to Ukraine? We'll have to wait and see. Thank you.